Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to cut and sew this beautiful mermaid dress that we see here. It has a cut together tail, and I'm going to be showing you how I cut and sew this. I also attached this beautiful detail on it. If you like a tutorial on it, let me know in the comment section. I'm going to film a tutorial on how I attach this design to it as well. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So I'm going to start by drafting the half length first. It's an off shoulder body, so I'm going to go up by 6 inches. So from there I'll start taking my measurements. This is my armhole line, this is my bust point, this is my under bust, and this is my half length. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my busting pattern. The bust span I'm working with is 8 inches, where by 4 by 2 is 4. So here I'm going to mark 4 inches, and then I'll make that into a straight line. So after that I'll take my darts. So on the under bust area, I'm taking a dart of 1 inch on both sides. I'm doing the same thing on the waistline, and I'll go ahead and make that into a straight line. So here for the upper bust tightening, I'm going to mark half an inch on both sides just to tighten the upper part to avoid gaping. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect that to my bust point. So after connecting that, I'll connect my under bust to my bust point as well, using the curved side of my roller. So I'll do the same thing for the other side as well. Okay, so now this is what we have. So after doing this, I'll go ahead and take my circumference measurement. So on the armhole here, I'm going to take my bust measurement. The round bust I'm working with is 36, where by 4 is 9. So here I will mark what I have here, and I have 3.75. So I'm going to skip this dart, and then I'll continue my measurement. So here I have 9 inches, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance to that. So I'm going to take my circumference measurement. Like I said, on the armhole area, my bust is 36, whereby 4 is 9. So here I'm going to mark what I have on the center front, and I have a 3.75. So I'll just skip the dart and then continue the measurement from the 3.75. So that's 9 inches, which is here, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance. So on the waistline here, my round waist is 30, divided by 4 is 7.5. So here again, I'm going to mark what I have, which is 3 inches, and then from there I'll skip the dart and mark the 7.5 and add my seam allowance to that as well. So I'll go ahead and connect those measurements together. So I'm adding a bust dart to this. For my bust dart on the bust point, I'm going to come down by 2 inches, which is the difference from my front and back half length, and I'll connect that to the bust point. So the last thing to do is to create your armhole. So here on the upper part, which is the chest area, you can measure that on your body from one armhole area to the other. For me, that's 12 divided by 2 is 6. So here I have 3.25. so I'll skip the dot again and then continue till I have my 6 inches. So when I have 6 inches, I'll take my curved ruler and then connect like this. So you have our armhole there. Then you can go ahead and create whatever neckline you want. So bear in mind that we already went over 6 inches, so I think I'm going for a neck depth of maybe 7.5, and then I want it to be a sweetheart neckline. So I'll just connect to one of my dart legs like this, and that's my pattern. Okay, so all of these darts are going out. So for the back is just a simple back bodice. This is the zipper allowance. This is my dart, half an inch on both sides. This is my measurement and the allowance, and this is the armhole. For the armhole here as well, I just marked the same 6 inches that I marked on the chest line, you can see, and then I connected for my armhole. So for the neckline depth, I'm going to go for the depth of the armhole line. So I'll just connect it and create a U neckline like this. So that is all I need to do. The next thing is to go ahead and cut out this pattern, and then we'll cut the lower part as well. So for the skirt, you should cut this on your main fabric, but my fabric is a sequin. It's favorite sequin. It's very slippery and the chalk is not showing very well on the fabric, and I'm not using a full length lining, so I just have to cut this paper so that we can see what I'm doing. This is my waistline, this is my hip line, and this is the knee length, and then we have the full length. The full length is 60 inches, so I had to join paper together to make up my full length. So here my waistline is 30 inches, so 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. So here I'm going to mark the 7.5, and then I had 1 inch for that, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance as well. Okay, then for my hip line, I'm going to take my hip measurement here. The hip that I'm working with is 41 divided by 4 is 10.25. so here I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to add my excuse me, I'm going to add my seam allowance to that. Then we're going to move to the knee length. So the knee length, for the round knee, from my hip measurement here, I'm going to deduct 1.5 inches. So my hip is 10.25. Let me just say 10, and then deducting 1.5 inches. That means you are deducting 6 inches. But I want it a little fitted, so you can even deduct as much as 2 inches if you don't mind. But from 4 to 4, 6 is okay. So if you are deducting 4, it means you are going to minus 1 because we already divided this by 4. If you are doing 6, you are going to minus 1.5, and if you are doing 8, you minus 2. So for me, I will deduct 1.5. That means I'm taking 6 inches altogether, and I'll be left with 8.5 inches. So here I'm going to mark the 8.5, and then I'll add my seam allowance to that as well. So now you take your curved ruler, and then you connect from your waist to the hip, and then from the hip we're going to connect to the knee like this. Okay, so after connecting that, the next thing to do is to connect to our full length. Like I said, it's a one square depending on how full you want it to be. This is still the front. So my hip is 10 inches. That's divided by 4. You can multiply that by 2 and then make the hem 20 inches wide. Or you can just add from 6 inches upward to your hip measurement. So let's say your hip is 10. You can work with 16 inches. You can work with 18 inches depending on what you want. So I'll just mark 18 inches here on fold. So that's going to be 36 inches when opened. So So now from your knee measurement here, we're going to take it all the way down like this to the hem. My ruler is not long enough, so I'll use my tape to mark where I'm supposed to join before I go ahead and connect. So this is what I have now. I'm going to cut it out and then use this to cut on my fabric. So I'll just use the front to cut the back. I'm still going to explain that so that I don't waste too much paper. So I'll cut this out now and place it to cut my front. Okay, so for the back, the fabric is quite long, so I couldn't put it on the table, so I just cut it and then brought it here to show us. So remember, this is my first front pattern. So for the back, I just added seam allowance to the center back here. You can see I added 1 inch on my waist. I added 1.5 just to give a little bum allocation on the hip, and then I measured 3 inches upwards from my knee length, and then I added 1 inch seam allowance for zipper there as well. So there on the hem, you can see I added extra 8 inches to the length, and then towards the hem area as well, I added extra 8 inches. So I connected from my zipper allowance here all the way to just to give it a little cut to get that tail, because it's a mermaid skirt. So I connected to the hem, and then I connected from there as well to the side of the front. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut together mermaid train, so I'm going to attach it so that you can see it well. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and cut lining for this. Like I said, the lining is not going to be full, it's going to be like knee length. That's why I could not cut the pattern using my lining, because it's not going to be a full length lining. So it's just going to stop around here. So I'll just place my fabric on it and then cut it out. I'll bring it back to show us. I'm going ahead to cut my lining. You can see it's a shorter version of the main fabric. This is for the front and this is for the back. Okay, so I have two for the back. So that's for the skirt. Now for the arm length, I've also cut it out on my fabric. I'm going to be padding with this soft wadding. Okay, so I've cut it as well. So this is the main fabric and this is the lining. So for the lining, I cut 2 each, because this fabric is not a stable fabric, it's a velvet fabric and it stretches a lot. So I'm going to be using this to stabilize it. That's why I have to. One is going to be my lining, and then the other one is going to serve as what I'll use. So to do this, I'm going to put my hemming gum in between this and then I cut the velvet bigger because I don't know if it's going to shrink. So when I'm done with the lamination, I'm just going to use this to trim it to my exact size. So I don't want to lose any fabric, that's why I cut the velvet a little bigger. So to do this, I'm going to be cutting this hemming gum and then laying it on it. Then you use your iron to glue them together. If you have a bigger size of this hemming gum, the one in yard, it will just make your work easier. You just use your pattern to cut it out. So this is the center front, this is the side front, and this is the wording for the side front and the fabric, and this is the back. So I'll go ahead and laminate all of them, and then I'm going to glue my wording as well. Then I'll bring it all back before I start to sew. So you can see I've gone ahead to use my wording, my gum tape to add the satin to the fabric. You can see what they look like, and then I added my wording to it. So these are the two sides as well, and this is the lining. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and join them together for the front, and then for the back I'm going to take my dart. You can see I already notched where the dart is. I'll do this for both the main fabric and the lining. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join I sewed the dart for the back and then I joined the upper part to the lower part. I did this for the lining and the main fabric separately. You can see this is the lining for the back. I have two for each, and then for the front I went ahead to join the bustier knot. You can see, then you're going to iron it open. So this is what it looks like, and then I joined the skirt as well. So you make sure you sew your dart for your skirt as well. So this is it for the lining as well. You join your lining to your upper bodies and then you sew the dart and iron. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to turn the main fabric with lining, and then I'm going to add my off shoulder sleeve, then we'll just sew the sides together. So after joining the sleeve to it, I joined the side as well, and this is what I have, just with the zipper at the back. You can see how beautiful this is looking and how simple it is to make. So I went ahead to attach this beautiful detail to it. If you like a tutorial on how I made that, let me know in the comment section and I'm going to film a tutorial on it. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful dress with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.